On this screen, you can see the service blueprint, which was developed within the frames of the Circular Regions project. This is basically a diagram that gives you a complex picture of all the activities that should take place within the circularity check assessment and advisory process. You can also see the different roles that are represented and that are necessary for the service to be complete and successful. In green, you can see the customer and the activities that he or she will go through. You as consultants and as future circularity check trainers are concerned with the activities that are happening at the front stage and at the back stage. You see these two spheres are divided by the line of visibility. It basically means that front stage activities are those in which you come in direct contact with your customer. In this video, we will go through some basic tips on how to prepare for your introductory consultation, which you can see here in the middle of the service blueprint. And we will also go through the template that will help you prepare the circularity check analysis and final report. The introductory consultation is your first direct contact point with your customers. Its main purpose is primarily to help manage their expectations. They should understand what the circularity check tool offers, but perhaps more importantly, what benefits they can gain from participating in this assessment. It's also a place to understand the practicalities regarding the process. For example, how long will it take, or what will actually be required from them to participate in this. At the same time, it serves you as their future consultant, in that you can learn more about their context, about where they are coming from, but also what capacities they can bring into this process, or how proficient they already are with circularity-related topics. Remember that we are piloting a new service, so what you will be offering them and the process through which you will guide them is most likely completely new to them, so they are going to have lots of questions. To help you with this and to help you prepare for the introductory consultation and to lead it, we've created a short checklist that should help you. Let's have a look at that. By now, you should have access to this introductory consultation checklist. It is a one-page document that outlines all the key points and questions that should be answered during the introductory consultation. We estimate that it should take between 30 to 60 minutes to complete. Perhaps the first important thing that you should do is to agree a confidentiality statement to be signed. The reason behind this to ensure that should there be any sensitive information shared during the circularity check, that this information stays between the service provider and the customer. As we have explained, the purpose of the circularity check is twofold. First, the customer should understand the circularity check process, and then it should help you to get to know the company a bit better. So what questions should help you in this second goal? First and foremost, I think it's really important to understand the motivation of a company to participate in such an assessment. What drives them to seek out your advice? Why are they interested in circular economy? Is it because they think that the circular economy is an interesting concept worth following, or are they already looking for specific benefits that might arise from a circular transition? It's important to understand these motivations also because it will help you to better tailor your recommendations in your final analysis and report. Second, it's also important to understand what capacities the company has to address circular issues. Do they already have specialized environmental or waste or circular professionals in their companies? Do they even have a specific department? It's important to know. It's important to know what capacities that you can count on. Then it might be worthwhile to see whether the company already collects some waste-related or sustainability-related data. Do they publish any sustainability or ESG reports? Can they share those reports with you? These are all important information that can help you with your on-site consultation, but also, again, with the final report preparation. Regarding the second principal goal of the introductory consultation, it's important that you don't forget to explain all the details regarding the process that might await them. It's crucial that you understand, that they understand what the circularity check is and what it is not. It is an assessment that should help them move forward. It should be an assessment that helps them with their internal strategies and processes. It is not a certification process. They won't receive a certificate that they can declare, through which they could declare to the outer world that, hey, look, we are circular now. It is an assessment to serve internal needs. You should inform the customer about the whole process, and also that they will require that they will be required to provide some data inputs. Importantly, you should inform your customer regarding the length of the steps that await, so they should understand how long the consultation will take place and how much time you as a consultant will take to prepare the report and your analysis. Now, when we talk about the analysis, of course, it's important to explain what the analysis will include. So you should explain that it should entail the overview of the circularity performance of the company based on the circularity check categories. That based on the circularity check assessment, you will identify the weak spots and propose some steps to overcome them. And also that you might recommend any supporting services that could help them in these first steps. It's also important to clarify already at this point that it is preferable that you as a consultant will present the final analysis to the whole management of the company. So you can ensure that they are also aware of the process and perhaps motivate some management buy-in to support the further circular activities that you're recommending. So if your customer feels that this all sounds cool and that it fits for their context and that they want to participate, nothing stops you from setting the time for your visit. All right, let's assume that the introductory consultation went really well and the customer is excited and wants to take part in the circularity check. Make sure that you send them the overview of the circularity check questions and also an information about the kind of data that will be required to answer the questions. While you get ready for the on-site consultation, make sure that you are familiarized with the circularity check questions, that you understand them, and that you can also explain them well. Another training video can help you with that, but you will also find their overview and some supplementary guidance on the interpretations of the questions in your training materials. After your on-site consultation comes perhaps the most time-demanding part of your consultation process. You will be required to do the analysis of the circularity check results and prepare a report that is containing all the recommendations on how the company can move forward and improve their circular performance. For that, we have created a report template for you, and the last part of this video is going to take a look at that. You will receive a circularity check report template that you will be free to edit and contextualize based on the kind of assessment that you will be doing. Please note that the template will also contain all the necessary visual elements and logos of the project. So the report template has a standardized title page where you note the name of the product or the service that is undergoing assessment, and of course the company that is offering the product and the service. At the bottom, you will need to fill out your name and the name of your fellow consultant if you're doing the circularity check in partnership. And of course, list the name of the assisting project partners that are helping you in the project elaboration, and list also the date of publication. So this table of content is basically providing you the general outline of the report. The very first is, again, a provision of the basic information regarding the company. So again, the name of the product and the service, contact information for the person that you were interacting with from your customer company, the type of company, and also a quick description of what the business proposition involves. In the next part, it is really important that you explain the motivation of the company. Here you can use the information that you gained from the introductory consultation or any other insights from the on-site consultation. You should be able to explain the interest of the company in the circular economy and what motivates them to undertake a journey towards a circular economy. It's important to then contextualize your recommendation with regards to these motivations. The following part serves as a quick overview to the results of the circularity check. First, state what are the strong points and the shortfalls of the assessed product and the service. But remember to try to assess the weaknesses not necessarily as negative points, but rather frame them as opportunities or entry points to do something better. So give a constructive overview of these results. Explain why it is important to work on those aspects that reached low scores. And summarize based on the circularity check whether the product or the service can be considered circular or not. You'll be able to get this information based on the score, and also there are some preconditions that you need to fulfill in order for the product or the service to qualify as circular. It is also explained in the online tool and in your Excel sheet and in your guidance. But to recapitulate, at least one questions in the circularity of design and use categories should score as positive. There are certain questions in the recovery section that should score as positive, and all the questions in the sustainability category should also score as positive for the product or service to qualify as circular. The next step is to insert a visual overview of these results. You can insert the spider chart and the bar chart that you receive in the online tool after you filled out all the pertaining circularity check questions. Again, the visual representation will only show in the online form. It's not available in your Excel sheets. The following section is going to be the most robust and the most detailed in this report. It is basically a detailed overview of all the circularity check questions. In the template, you will have all the questions listed, but please make sure to delete those questions that were not applicable for the customer's context in order not to confuse the process. So for example, for those customers that are providing services, the manufacturing category is not relevant, so you can just leave it out. So you summarize all the responses that were given for each question, and based on these questions you can already provide some partial recommendations. For example, here at the beginning, when we are asked about the categorization and the listing of all the materials as belonging to the technological cycle or the biological cycle, and whether a bill of materials is present, you can recommend how to create a bill of materials, provide a template for the bill of materials in case that it is not present for the company. Again, it's hard to give exact recommendations on how to proceed in these questions, because these recommendations are going to arise from your customer's context and from the specific answers that are going to be provided to you. An interesting helping point or tip when providing the recommendations is also to look at the other choices or the other answer options that each question provides to you, because in each of these options you can find valuable hints at what the company could do better. So make sure to go through each of these questions. going to be a demanding process, but it's going to be very, very important for the company to see all the different aspects of the circular economy and how it relates to their context, summarized also in this written form and not just through the on-site consultation process. So once you have gone through all these questions, and again, it's going to be a lot, but please remember that project partners are also here to help you and help you interpret the questions or the results and help you with the analysis in the initial parts of this project. So reach out to them as well if you feel the need to do so. So we are coming to the last part, which is concerning the recommended steps on how to improve the circular performance of your customers. Again, it's going to be very context specific, but please try to look at the complexity of these questions and see what could be a good place to start. Is there any low-hanging fruit that the company could harvest and benefit from already? Can you recommend any resources to support this process? You can, for example, look through the literature folder that is provided to you. Is there any publication, any guidance, any guidelines, circular design guidelines that can already be very informative or useful for your customers? Do you have access to information about financial resources, about subsidies, and other grants that can support the circular transition? I know that both Hungarian and Slovak project partners have a good overview of financial mechanisms, so reach out to them for advice if you need to. Last but not least. Of course, even though you're super knowledgeable and experienced consultants, it would be perhaps too much to expect from you to be experts in all the categories of the circularity check. So if you are not an expert on circular design, but a circular design proved the most problematic in the circularity check, think of any local designers of any organizations that can help with this process. Again, the Circular Region project partners have been assembling lists of professionals in the fields of the questions, so they can help you in recommending topic-specific, expertise-specific professionals that can also further support the company should they decide to go in this direction. Again, here it's really important that if you're going to recommend any follow-up services, any other professionals that they can reach out to, it's really important that the companies understand what the added value will be to reaching out to other professionals. So this has been a quick overview of the template. I hope you found it at least a bit useful, but I know that you will be able to personalize it to your customers' needs. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and good luck. Thank you for your attention.